Well, my dear students, I wish you are having a good time. That is, a good time even in these days of isolation, etc. And today I am going to give you a short talk about Robin Singh Ngangom or Nangom, whatever the true pronunciation is, because it's a name in the Meitei language, which is the language in Manipur, that is, and the poet himself is from Manipur, that is. Uh, while doing this talk or lecture, I will frequently quote unto you things from the Wikipedia page on Mr. Nangom and his poems, that is. Anyway, so Robin Singh Ngangom was born in Imphal, Manipur of northeastern India. He is a bilingual poet and his two languages are English and a language called Meiteilon, Meiteilon. It is the native language of Manipur. He studied in St. Edmund's College of Shillong and he is now a university professor besides being a poet, and he teaches in the Northeastern Hill University of Shillong. Now, since he is coming from Manipur and it's one of the signature northeastern states of India, there's always the question of the kind of turbulence and the social unrest, the insurgency that's going on in Manipur in these days. There's the AFSPA going on, and there is general unrest in the Manipurian society as a whole. And beyond all this, the two poems that we have, one of them is the eponymous, the poem for mother, and that is the thing that I'm going to talk to you about. Well, then it's a poem for mother by Robin Singh Ngangom, and there's a small bracketed line beneath the title after Salvatore Quasimodo. Salvatore Quasimodo is a Nobel laureate writer from Italy, probably. And unfortunately, I haven't found, my searches are limited to the internet, that is, I haven't found any poem of the same title or something that's quite relevant to this poem in Salvatore's works. But anyway, I will be looking on for that, and when I get anything, I will let you know. Now, to the text, that is a poem for mother by Robin Singh Ngangom. Poem, I'm reading to you from a version that's freely available on the internet. The poem is freely available. You can look for it on the internet if you want. Anyway, Palem Akopki, Apokpi. It's quite a tongue twister. It's a Manipuri, Meiteilian name. Mother who gave birth to me, to be a man, how I hated leaving home 10 years ago. So he was quite attached to his home in the hills, and at the very moment that he is writing this poem, it has been 10 years since he has left home. Now these hills have grown on me. It's not like I have grown up or something, but these hills have grown on me. That is, the hills have aged. It might be a throwback at nostalgia. That is, I am the same person that I was 10 years ago, and the hills have grown on me, meaning the hills have aged. But actually, heals, that is nature, it doesn't age, it just stays the same, and our perception changes, that is. But I'm still your painfully shy son, painfully shy, with a ravenous appetite. The boy who lost many teeth after emptying your larder. Larder, in Bengali, the nearest thing that comes to a larder is bhater hari. So he had lost many teeth by getting bitten by Palem Akopki, the mother, because he had invaded the kitchen and gobbled up food that was probably not meant for him. So the mother was, Robin's mother was very angry and had beaten him up. It was quite a beating because he had lost many teeth. And I am also your dreamy-eyed lad, a bit of romanticism, a bit of a lovey-dovey chocolate kind of thing in it, who gave you difficult times during his school days, romancing every girl he wanted, even when he still wore half pants. So it was a childish kind of infatuation towards the girls of his age. He was still wearing a half pant, that is, he's quite young, and he, even at that age, he has managed to be infatuated or fall in love, whatever that is. And this falling in love, that is, this childish infatuations, this childlike crushes, they had given the mother, Palem, quite a difficult time, because though the poet doesn't mention, it might be that he came to some mischief which was quite embarrassing for the mother. And beyond the invasion of the larder, this invasion of the local girl folk, that might have brought unto him some more blows. Not only difficult times for the mother, but difficult times for the boy too. He was quite a sensitive kind of person. While he was emptying the larder, he was also being a, sort of infant Krishna, trying to harass the local gopinis, etc. You told your children that money and time do not grow on trees, and I could never learn to keep up with them. It isn't I have forgotten what you have come to mean to me, though I abandoned much and left so little of myself for others to remember me. You told your children that money and time do not grow on trees. Money and time do not grow on trees. These are the things that our parents always tell us so that we might be spendthrifts. We don't squander all the money that we have. We don't become the prodigal son or daughter. So that is something that every parent tells his or her children. And I could never learn to keep up with them. And keep up with them might refer to both money and time, or the wisdom that the mother, Palem, gave unto his son. Well, this is a kind of reflection, a bit gloomy reflection about the current times that the poet might be living in. That is, he's short of both money and time. But there is always the question of the persona that the poet is adopting while writing this poem. Since this is a poem about the mother, it might be that the poet is trying to create a persona which is a bit on the lower side than the mother. Now, there is the question of matriarchy here. See, I will come back to it later in this talk. Manipur, especially the northeast, is a place where the women folk are very hardy, and they take the decisions. Their actions are very decisive in running the household. So there's a bit of matriarchy in there. So the mother is always the powerful matriarch. What in Bengali we call Matritantrik Samaj. It isn't that I have forgotten what you have come to mean to me. I have not forgotten what you mean to me. In plain Bengali, Ma tomake ami bhulini. Though I abandoned much and left so little of myself for others to remember me. He has abandoned his village. It's the word abandon is something of a poetic usage. That is, if I look at the reality, that is, he's a professor in a university in Shillong. So, in order to get that kind of education, that kind of education which enables a village boy to become a professor in a university, he must leave village. That is. So, it is like this that our poet, he has left the village, he has abandoned the village, and very little of his memory or the things that he has done is memorable to the people there, maybe to the mother. Well, this actually is pointing to some sort of insignificance on the poet's part, that the poet is once again saying that I am an insignificant person. You don't remember much of me. I have abandoned my village and you don't I didn't give you much to remember me about. That is. Next stanza. I know how you work your fingers to the bone, as all mothers do for unmarried sons, aging husband, and liberated daughters-in-law. Now here we get a picture of the family with a bit of irony, maybe. Work your fingers to the bone. This is a cliched kind of phrase which is oft used in English. Work your fingers to the bone. That is, that much of housework. She does a lot of housework which has not left even the minimum amount of fat and muscle on the fingers. That is, once again I am reverting to my মাতৃভাষা Bengali, that is, কাজ করতে করতে আঙুলগুলো ক্ষয়ে গেছে বা আঙুলের হাড় বেরিয়ে গেছে. Nearest I can think in Bengali. So there are references to three kind of members of the family: unmarried sons, aging husband, and liberated daughters-in-law. So I am not sure whether this is Palem's real family, but what the poet says, it might be a reference to the average family. That is, there's an unmarried son, the husband is aging, the unmarried son is quite, according to the description in the first stanza, it might be that the unmarried son has remained the kind of romantic that he was in his half pant days, and he is not of much use to household workings. And as I have said earlier, that Manipur is matriarchal, so the women folk are very hardworking and very decisive, and they do most of the work themselves. The husband is aging, and liberated daughters-in-law. Now this daughters-in-law and liberation, this might be a bit of a pinch towards the so-called modern woman. That is the modern woman who is all studious, all learned, all college and university degrees, but doesn't work much for the household. I am not being misogynistic here, or I'm not trying to put some kind of slur, anti-feminist slur on learned women, but this liberated daughters-in-law, this juxtaposition of two words, liberated and daughters-in-law, it actually brings in this kind of image. That is, the daughter-in-law is liberated, she is learned, she has a college degree, and she doesn't do much of household work, so the mother has to work her fingers to the bone. Now this kind of dichotomy between the not working, not household working, or the what in Bangla we called chakuri rata, or the daughter-in-law who has a job outside, she is not doing any household work, so the shashuri has to do all the household work by herself. Anyway, that is the kind of thing that these words evoke. Worried about us for a long time. Of course, the mother, since she is the mother, she has to worry. She is always worried about the children, whether they are grown up or they are small or they are toddlers or they are still in their half pants romancing mini skirts. Mini skirts means, not, I'm not talking about hot pants and mini skirts, but sort of young women, whatever, the infatuations, the heartbreaks, the crushes, and the mother has everything to worry about. Not about stealing fruits or breaking people's windows, but as the poet has said in the first stanza, there are lovey-dovey things going on and the mother has to worry about it. Your lips couldn't burgeon into a smile. Your lips cannot form into a smile. Lines have furrowed your face. So she is aging and wrinkles are appearing on the skin of her face. And first signs of snow are on your hair. Snow means white. Her hair is whitening. She is aging. Today, as on every day, you must have risen with temple bells before cockcrow. That is, before the first cock crows, the bells in the temple ring and the mother has risen and she must perform the motherly duties. That is, jump start or cold start the household in the morning, swept the floor, and after the sacred bath, cooked for the remainder of us. She took a bath after sweeping the floors, household duties, etc. Cooked for the remainder of us. Remainder, I think remainder here means the people, the family members who are still remaining with the family. I can see you returning every dusk from the bazaar, your head laden with baskets. This is a very common sight in the northeast, that is the women returning from the bazaar. The bazaars are quite far away, and since these are hilly lanes, there are not wide roads, there are narrow lanes, and there is the uphill and downhill kind of thing, so people have to walk, and that's quite a hard kind of walk, because when you are going up, your energy is expended far more faster than when you are walking on the plains. So our poet's mother, she has a she has an uphill task. An uphill task because she has to carry all those baskets from the bazaar to the household. Must you end toiling forever? An open question to the mother, and maybe towards society itself, and maybe towards the family and everything in between. That is my mother going to end like this, under baskets, under the load of sweeping, under the load of cooking? I am sorry, Palem. I have inherited nothing of your stable ways or culinary skills. He, our poet, he is openly saying sorry to the mother. In a way, he is acknowledging finally that he is nothing compared to his mother. I have inherited nothing of your stable ways. The kind of stability that she imparts through her work for the household. The poet is saying that he himself has not inherited that kind of a thing. Or your culinary skills, that is cooking skills. Him, in plain words, he is nowhere as good a cook as his mother is. Forgive me for all your dreams of peace during your remnant days. I turned out to be a small man with small dreams, living a small life. Forgive me for all your dreams of peace during your remnant days. Maybe she thought that this son of mine will come back to the household someday, and maybe with a toiling wife, a wife that understands the mother's pain and the mother's age, he will ease some of the burdens that are on the shoulders of Palem, the mother. But that is not to be, and the poem and the poet is saying sorry openly. That is, he couldn't share the burden or the load. I turned out to be a small man with small dreams, living a small life. He is repeating the word small. He is a small man in stature when compared to the figure of the matriarch, the mother, with small dreams, living a small life. Thing is, this word small, this usage is a bit confusing, because theoretically, if there's a son or a daughter who has left home, left the mother, and studied very higher studies, and have made a name for himself or herself, has established himself or herself, then he or she is said to have made it big, not small. But here, the poet is actually inverting this idea. He is trying to say that all his worldly achievements, his academic or his poetic or his achievements in his workplace, are actually small compared to the figure of the mother who has stayed at home, cared for the family, and brought up a son like him. So this is basically the point where the poet acknowledges that his mother is a bigger person than he is. He might be a poet, an academician, a person who is looked upon as a role model, but still he is nothing when compared to Palem Akopki, the quintessential figure of the mother, the matriarchal mother who has stayed home, stayed strong, carried the household on her shoulders, and brought up men and women who have made it big in life. They are big in life and in the world only because she, the mother, is far more bigger than them. She has actually done the bigger job and shouldered the bigger burden. That is. So, this much for the text. There will be a talk on the background on Robin S. Ngangom. It will be a small thing which I will provide you maybe later. But that's it for now, and well, happy studying, and let studies be triumphant. And try to take some inspiration from Palem Akopki. Try to be bigger in your family and take up some of the heavier burdens of the household seriously. That's the best thing that you can do for your parents. That's all for now. Thank you.